Hello, everyone. I'm Governor John Carney. Thank you for joining us today. We've got a good group today as we declare the month as Teen Dating Violence Prevention and Awareness Month. We've got the Chief Judge from Family Court, Chief Judge Newell. Thank you for joining us. We have Krista Griffith, Representative Krista Griffith from the General Assembly. We have Sue Ryan, who's the Executive Director of the Delaware Coalition for the Prevention of Domestic Violence. We also have our Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for being with us. This is a special occasion for you and I, as we often go in different directions. It's good to be with you today for this important issue. And we have Stephanie Rodriguez, who's joined us today, has an important program that she wants to talk about that's very important for the issue today, which is teen dating violence. This is something that we do each year. We have our orange colors on and our ribbons for those who are victims of teen dating violence. Is actually a bigger problem than most people realize and appreciate, and one that we have lots of folks on the ground working with our courts, with our law enforcement agencies, with parents, with educators. And Representative Griffith has legislation that she's going to talk about that goes to the education aspect of it. And of course, our Lieutenant Governor is doing an incredible job with mental health issues. And of course, these go right to the hub of issues that are given rise to after teen dating violence. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Judge Newell. Thank you for all your great work. I know it's been a difficult time for all of you and your colleagues there in the family court, very challenging issues and challenging time to do that work. So thanks for joining us today. Thank you for being chair of the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council and all the other great work that you do.
Well, thank you, Governor. But according to my agenda, it looks like the Lieutenant Governor was going to speak before me. I'm happy to go first, but I'll defer to the Lieutenant Governor.
Why don't you go ahead and I'll do the Lieutenant Governor with a nice introduction next.
Yep, okay, all right. Well, thank you. Thanks. And thank you, Governor Carney, and good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to thank the Governor for his staff for once again hosting this event, this important proclamation event and awareness. Governor, you've demonstrated an indefatigable commitment to reduce and eliminate domestic violence and teen dating violence. The Department of Education prepares an annual statewide summary report of incidents of dating violence and sexual assault occurring in our public schools. And I commented last year that an alarming statistic that was that over half of the reported incidents, and emphasis on the reported incidents because we know this is a widely unreported statistic at times, took place in our elementary and middle schools. Now, this year, the percentage is down to 40% in the most recent report published by the DOE. But for me, that is still alarming and still too high. Teen dating violence is an adverse childhood experience, what we know is the ACE scale, which affects and stays with a youth as they move through life. And the national theme for Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month this year is entitled Talk About It. This effort is a call to action for young people and people who support them to engage in meaningful conversations about healthy relationships and how to manage and exit relationships where there is unhealthy or abusive behavior. And it is essential for our young people to learn the skills to create and maintain healthy relationships. In Delaware, the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council, their Committee on Children and Domestic Violence Committee, has established a work group to review and update the guidelines for responding to teen dating and sexual violence in Delaware schools. The DVCC also partnered with the Department of Education to update the training for school faculty, nurses, and school counselors. Violence in teen dating relationships can be a forerunner to problems in future relationships. Victims of dating violence in their adolescent years are at an increased risk for victimization during college and in future relationships. So it is imperative that we attempt to address and eliminate this public health problem with training, education, outreach to promote healthy, respectful relationships. In short, let's talk about it, but let's also act upon our words. On behalf of the members of the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council, I want to thank and commend our educators, advocates, the school wellness centers, and supporting staff for the important work that they do every day. And we at the DVCC stand with you in a collective effort to prevent and hopefully someday eliminate teen dating violence. Thank you. Governor Carney, back to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for being here and representing a family court in the judicial branch. Next up, we have our Lieutenant Governor, who has a foot both in the legislative branch and in the executive branch. And in her role as Lieutenant Governor in the executive branch, she has taken up the responsibility of chairing the Behavioral Health Consortium and mental health issues that affect children, teenagers, and adults across our state. Teen dating violence being among the issues I'm sure that the consortium has worked on. The Lieutenant Governor has been incredibly busy during the past 2 years of COVID-19, and we know that mental health issues have risen to the top list of concerns that we have. And so, Lieutenant Governor, thank you for joining us today. It's great to see you here on the screen.
Thank you, Governor. It's great to be with you. As you said early on, we're not often together. We're in different places, but today is really an important one. And as our incredible, honorable Judge Newell indicated, there is so much that we can do. And I'm thrilled to be here with Representative Griffin, Sue, and to Stephanie and the team of folks who have gathered here. It really is paramount that we address these issues early. And Governor First Lady Carney has been at the forefront with trauma-informed care, and all of this fits together. We can prevent teen dating violence, as the judge so honorably mentioned, that we can lower those numbers. And thanks to everyone who's listening today, who's out in the community, who is working tirelessly with our youth, whether in our schools and aftercare programs, we can make a difference. And having been, as you said, a foot in two sides when I was in the legislative branch, having sponsored teen dating awareness resolutions, we can do more. And I will just say that in the past 2 years, we have seen this uptick in social emotional challenges. And we have been dealing with the fact that 1 in 3 teens will report before their 18th birthday some type of physical, emotional abuse with a partner, with a peer, and that is significant. And that is why we are here today, to show our support. And I'm thrilled to join you in signing this proclamation to make sure we continue to have those resources in the community. So with that, Governor Carney, I'll give it back to you, and thank you and our First Lady for the efforts that you have put forth addressing behavioral health, and particularly teen dating violence prevention and education. So back to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Lieutenant Governor. It's great to have the legislative branch again represented by Representative Griffith, who brings both her experience as a prosecutor in the Department of Justice, her experience as a lawyer, and to be one of the, frankly, more thoughtful members of our General Assembly. We appreciate her partnership on so many issues, and this issue in particular. I know she has an interest and involvement in legislation, HB 254, that I'm sure she'll talk about. Thanks for joining us today as well.
Thank you so much, Governor Carney, for those kind words. They mean very much to me. And thank you for your advocacy, and also yours, Lieutenant Governor, on behalf of the survivors of domestic violence, including those teenagers that we're here to talk about today. I also want to share a lot of gratitude for Chief Judge Newell, who both in the courtroom and as a leader on state policy really is at the forefront of advocating for reducing dating violence and domestic violence in our state. And it's an honor to work with him. And Stephanie and Sue, I know you and your teams see this on the front lines every day. And to you and your teams and the social workers that you work with, thank you very much for everything that you do. So today we are here gathered to recognize February as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Sadly, we continue to need to bring light and attention to this issue, but by recognizing this month, we are letting survivors know that they are not alone. And we also are sending a message that there is help available to those who are worried a teenager they know and love is being abused. In Delaware, we are blessed to have a strong domestic violence coordinating council that places special attention on teen dating violence. As Chief Judge Newell noted, every year the Delaware Department of Education reports the number of cases that have been investigated in our schools. We know that abuse is occurring, and we continue to find ways to give teens the help they need. And so I'm pleased to tell you that the House of Representatives did recently pass HB 254, which is a bill that will require schools to prevent the National Domestic Violence Hotline and Suicide Prevention Hotline numbers on the back of student ID cards. This will help children in grades 7 through 12, as well as students at post-secondary institutions such as the University of Delaware, Delaware State University, and Del Tech, so that they can have access directly to a number that might help them if they're in crisis, or if they see a friend in crisis. This year, the theme of Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month is Talk About It, and that's so important. For parents of teens, and I'm one of them, we need to talk with them about what it means to be in a healthy dating relationship. And we need to share with them the warning signs that they should look out for if they or themselves see that they're in an abusive relationship. And that can be quite difficult for teenagers, but to tell them that if they see themselves or a friend with a partner that's insulting them, or if they're constantly worried about making their partner angry, is their partner extremely jealous or possessive, or do they have unexplained marks or injuries? Have they stopped spending time with friends and families, and are there changes in personality, such as are they showing signs of depression? Those are signs that there could be a problem in a relationship. And if there's a teenager who doesn't know what to do to help his or her friend in that situation, they should go to a trusted adult. Or if there's an adult that's noticing these signs, they should talk with their teenager. Or in all scenarios, there's always the National Domestic Violence Hotline, that number that will be placed on those student ID cards. And I'd like to tell everybody that that number is 1-800-799-SAFE, S-A-F-E, or 1-800-799-7233. Again, thank you so much, Governor, for your advocacy and allowing me to speak for a few moments about HB 254 and continuing awareness. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Representative Griffith. Thank you for all the work that you do in the General Assembly and legislative branch for the people of your district and the people of the state of Delaware. We're also joined, as we always are, when it's domestic violence issues and domestic violence month and teen dating awareness and prevention month. Sue Ryan, who's the executive director of the Delaware Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Sue, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you, Governor Carney and Lieutenant Governor Hall Long and Chief Judge Newell and Representative Griffin. Thank you for raising awareness of teen dating violence and also your efforts to keep teens safe. And also thank you to all of those who work directly with teens in schools and community centers, those caring adults who coach boys to be men and teach healthy masculinity, those teachers who listen and support, those nurses and health wellness center staff that are often the first responders to teen dating violence. We are slowly coming out of a pandemic. COVID-19 is a public health crisis, and so is teen dating violence. Its prevalence is alarming. Teen dating violence impacts the teen's physical and emotional health now and as adults. The violence, as we've heard today, can lead to depression and anxiety, the use of substances, and more harmful behavior. Teen dating violence is truly a public health crisis that requires a comprehensive, coordinated response. And as the Lieutenant Governor noted, we can actually prevent teen dating violence before it even occurs by investing in primary prevention efforts to reduce the risk factors and to increase the protective factors that underlie this violence, providing education on healthy relationships, increasing community connectedness, addressing harmful gender-based norms, teaching problem-solving skills in schools. All of these efforts have a long-term impact that get to the root of violence. And when we address one root cause of violence, we are actually addressing multiple types of violence. When we support programs that address teen dating violence, we are also helping to prevent adult intimate partner violence, sexual violence, youth violence, and bullying. Primary prevention requires investment of funding and a commitment over time. The return on this investment is safe, healthy relationships for teens, families, and our community. And it is our shared commitment in Delaware to end and prevent teen dating violence that will make the difference. And in closing, I just want to say, as others have said, as Representative Griffiths has said today, to those who are victims of teen dating violence, please know that you are not alone. There is help available. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today, and turning it back to you, Governor Carney.
Thank you very much, Sue. And you talked about those who are working directly with teens and those who are working to prevent teen dating violence. We're joined today by Stephanie Rodriguez, who is doing just that with her program at People's Place 2, Real Relationships. Stephanie, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the very important work that you do.
Thank you, Governor. I'm very, very humbled to be here today. So as everyone has already spoke a little bit about prevalence, how important this is, I wanted to spend a little bit of time today talking about our program and the direct service that we have been providing to Delaware communities and our adolescents. So I'm the program director for Turning Point at People's Place, as the governor had just introduced. Turning Point houses our Delta Prevention Project in Kent and Sussex counties. And our team has had the pleasure and opportunity to serve adolescents and community partners throughout Delaware for over a decade in the primary prevention realm. So our Delta Project programming focuses on preventing relationship abuse by educating, skill building, promoting safe environments for youth. We are partnered with various school-based wellness centers and educators to deliver those services. Unfortunately, like everyone else, as a result of the pandemic, we had to shift and think outside the box to find another medium in which we could still serve adolescents and our partners. Given the virtual world we've shifted into and the viral nature and culture adolescents were really already in, we decided it best to invest into our website resource, realrelationshipsde.org. So we spent a lot of time with that. The update to realrelationships.org allowed us to continue to serve youth, educators, parents, healthcare professionals, and our other community partners. So now you can access virtual sessions on demand. These sessions include what adolescents should expect from a dating partner and help them learn skills that will buffer against unhealthy partners. Additionally, for students, we offer sessions on how in a digital world social media may impact their beliefs, values, and relationships. There's also a series for adolescents around financial empowerment. And this particular series helps adolescents to discover some of the values they hold around money and finances, how to recognize financial abuse in a relationship, and how they themselves can set up for future financial independence by things like using a budget, how to save, and how to plan financially for their futures. For parents, we also offer sessions that can help equip them with knowledge and skills on how to better talk to their kids about their relationships. And again, for educators, we offer sessions on how to better create a school climate and community culture that really empowers youth to have healthy and safe relationships. For our healthcare professionals, we offer training sessions on how to specifically screen for teen dating violence and how they, as those healthcare professionals, can model and essentially normalize that having a safe and healthy relationship is critical to our health. So we know that there's no magic handbook that helps adolescents navigate the complexities of being in a relationship for the first time. And certainly there's a lot of conflicting information online and social media. So thus our Turning Point Delta team has dedicated our time in this additional resource so that we could sustain these critical prevention efforts and programming in our community. So again, to access these virtual sessions and resources related to teen dating violence and prevention, please go to our website, realrelationshipsde.org. We certainly believe everyone with young people in their lives has a role to play in preventing violence. So let's talk about it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Back to you, Governor.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, and thank you for the great work that you and your agency does there in the mid and lower part of our state, across the state for Delawareans. Thank you again to our Lieutenant Governor, work on the Behavioral Health Consortium, to Representative Griffith for her leadership in the General Assembly. To you, Sue, always there, always ready, always helping. And of course, Chief Judge Newell, for your leadership on the family court, where so many of these issues end up sadly in front of the judges there. I do have a proclamation to declare February 2022 as Teen Dating Violence Prevention and Awareness Month. And it reads, whereas dating violence is a pattern of abusive and aggressive behaviors, such as physical, mental, emotional, and sexual abuse, as well as cyber abuse and stalking used to exert power and control over a dating partner. And whereas the effects of dating violence and abuse can lead to lifelong behavioral and physical health consequences, such as eating disorder, substance abuse, and depression. And whereas the Domestic Violence Coordinating Council estimates that 26% of women and 15% of men who are victims of stalking, sexual or physical violence first experience such violence before their 18th birthday. And whereas we recognize that dating violence can be prevented and strive to provide young people with tools to build healthy relationships and to change the cultural attitudes that can support such violence. And whereas it is essential to raise awareness in our community and to provide training to teachers, counselors, school staff, healthcare professionals, and community partners so they may recognize when youth exhibit signs of dating violence. Now, therefore, we, John Carney, Governor, and Bethany Hall, Lieutenant Governor, both of us here today, do hereby declare February 2022 as Teen Dating Violence Prevention and Awareness Month in the state of Delaware, and urge all Delawareans to support efforts in their communities, schools, and families to empower young people to develop healthy relationships throughout their lives and to prevent and respond to teen dating violence. Let us recommit to ensuring all people who may be in an abusive relationship have access to help and the support they need. The Lieutenant Governor has already signed it. And so now, so have I. February, Teen Dating Violence Prevention and Awareness Month in the state of Delaware.